Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici. Welcome, my friends. My name is Vincenzo, and welcome to my channel, Fountain Pen Therapy. I have another pocket pen for you folks. Not too long ago, I reviewed this pen, which was the Hongdian M1, and I've got to tell you, I was not overly enthusiastic about that slick, very slick touch and slippery. It's a nice pen. But you know what? I wasn't overly impressed by it. But I didn't give up. I said in that review, I think that I would hesitate to order the M2 that had just come out. But you know what? You know me, folks. I couldn't resist, so here it is. So we're going to be reviewing the M2, and the main question I have for you folks is this better than the M1? Does it give me better qualities? Does it give me a better writing experience? That's ultimately what I want to review with you folks. And what about that nib? I've got a little surprise for you in the nib. In fact, I was surprised when I got it. So stay tuned. Okay, folks, so here we are with the pen. And, first impressions. It's a gorgeous looking pen. I've got to say that when I was hesitating to order this pen because of the lukewarm experience I had with the M1, I said, what am I doing? Am I just buying the same pen with just a different look? But the more I looked at it, the more it came in some very nice colors as well. And that kind of alloy, dark colored, I don't know how to describe it, but this dark green, or there was even a blue one, a dark blue one. It just very tempting with that black clip and really nice finial. I said, you know what? Let's take the jump. We're not talking about a $300 pen here. So I took the jump. And so that's the first thing I want you to note, is that this pen is a really good looking pocket pen. First of all, the finial, I think, is really a nice touch. And the M1 doesn't have a finial like that because it has this rounded torpedo-shaped. Here it is. Here's my M1. And as you can see, there, the finials are obviously rounded off. So we're talking about a very different sort of look. So that's the first thing I want you guys to take a look at, is that I really like that finial. The nib, the clip. Now, just 1 second. Let me just show you the clip here. And one of the things that I think it was Inquiring Minds that in his review said, it would have been really nice if they would have made this clip. It's a spring clip, don't get me wrong, but there's no mechanism here where you push and it goes up. And lo and behold, and I think they had already planned this because the DM2 just came out on or about the same time. This does have that spring-loaded mechanism. Very nice. And it's integrated in the barrel there, in the cap. Very nicely, very well done. Now, some people are saying, will Kaweco get upset again? Well, you know what? We can't compare the Kaweco. I have the Kaweco here, and that's the Kaweco, and it's completely different. It's got faceted. A pocket pen is a pocket pen. This thing removes, and you can't compare it. I frankly prefer this M2. Very, very nice. I've got to tell you, the bottom finial is just flattened out here, and then it's this beautiful aluminum alloy too, and it's got, the Hongdian M2 inscribed there right at the on the side. Very nice touch. Now this opens up in one and a half, and there is that very slim and very slick body. Can it be used unposted? Yes, it can. It's got a little bit of a flare there, which is nice. Got to tell you, because otherwise it really, really, would, your fingers kind of have a tendency to slip right off. But that's a nice, obviously it is meant to be posted. And posted, folks, is just a gorgeous, gorgeous writing instrument. I think I'm going to have to get used to that slippery section. And, it's kind of, I really want to. So the more I use this pen, the more I say to myself, you know what, it's not that bad. Very smooth, very well done, very well machined. It is a cartridge converter. It's got a very nice, it's got an O-ring right there to make it nice and tight so it doesn't open up on you. It's got a converter, very nice, very well machined, smooth threads. And to my surprise, now, let me just go back to the M1 for a second. The M1 had an Hongdian nib, okay, which was fine. And frankly, I don't recall having ordered this pen with a lemon nib. Now, my experience with the lemon nibs have been very, very good. This is a lemon nib, but a number 5. So I'm really, really looking forward to the writing sample. I want to see how this all turns out. So that's a nice touch. Now, I don't recall having chosen that nib, but maybe I did. I mean, I've ordered so many pens in the last month that you kind of forget how you ordered them, So all to say that so far so good. I think I prefer this one over the M1. The M1, some people really like this little M1. I mean, it posts nicely, don't get me wrong. It does have a nice look, but for some reason, this is just so much more slippery and slidey than this one. Am I just fabricating because I really want to like this pen? But I just got the sense that this pen is a little stickier than the M1. In terms of look, I prefer the M1. No doubt in my mind. The color schemes in the M1, and I'll put them up on the screen. You can see your choices. In my view, are much, much nicer. Okay, so there you have the pen in terms of the outside and the inner workings. Oh, I just want to take a look at that inner cap just to see whether or not we see anything of interest. I believe I do see in there somewhere a sealing step. I do see a screw there way at the end, but I think I see a sealing step. No, that's just the where the barrel. That's just where the section and the rest of the barrel screw. So that's not the. But I do see further down. I see kind of a further step there. So maybe there is. Maybe there is. Hopefully it does, so that it doesn't dry up on me. Okay, so there you have it. This is the M2. So far, so good. So far, so good, folks. So let's take a look at the next thing that I'd like to do with you folks is to look at a pen comparison. Now, I've chosen a bunch of pocket pens for you just to give you an indication of, to give you kind of a comparison with other pocket pens that I have in my collection. So there's the subject pen, and this is all capped. Here's the Jinao 82 Mini. That is the M1, of course, that we saw. That's the Kaweco Brass Sport. This is the most gorgeous pocket pen I have in my collection, which is the Gravitas. It even has a number 6 nib, as we shall see in a minute. And this is that little surprising Ultim EDC eBay or AliExpress kind of a no-name pocket pen, which I really, really like because of that Schmidt nib. So there you have it. I mean, in terms of size, it's, you know, they're all pretty well equal. It's a nice size. It's not overly slim, and it's not girthy like the Gravitas. But you know what? It stands out on its own. So that's the M2 with the rest of the pens. And here are the pens uncapped and unposted. And as you could see, the subject pen, the M2, is, in my view, the longest one there. That's why I think it is quite comfortable to write with it. Well, quite comfortable. Let's not exaggerate. It is, you can write with it without posting if you need to. It, along with this very surprising EDC no-name Ultim, that gorgeous Schmidt nib, in any event. I'll stop raving there. Maybe that lemon number 5 will surprise me as well. So there you have it. The pen's uncapped and unposted. And here are the pens posted. And this is where I think this subject M2 pen kind of gives you that perfect combination. It's not too short, not too long. Very comfortable. You know, look, it's what is it, a $20, $30 pen? You can't compare it to the Gravitas that has a number 6 size nib. Have no illusions, but I think it compares nicely with the Kaweco. The brass Kaweco doesn't give me a better writing experience, I must say. But again, if there's anybody out there that's wondering whether or not they should buy the M2 or M1 and really only want to buy one of the two, go for the M2. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind that the M2 is a nicer looking pen, a more comfortable pen, and a less slippery pen. Okay, so there you have the pens posted. Let's proceed to look at some measurements and then that really anticipated writing sample. Okay, so we're back for the writing sample. First thing, let's take a look at the ink. Well, the ink that I think I'm going to use is going to be this Tatcha, I think they call it Midori Green. Beautiful ink, recommended, very nice, you know, Japanese, very nice bottle as well. And if you want to take a look at the swatch, let's just go down to the swatch. The swatch is right here. The Tatcha Midori Green. So it's got, I think it's going to fit very nicely with this pen. It even has a little bit of red sheen there, as you can see, but I think it should work out very nicely. In hindsight, I should have chosen maybe Robert Oster here, the Crocodile Green, which probably fits in a little bit better, but I hadn't used this Tatcha in a long time, and it is a good ink, so I figured I'd give that a go. I've used Robert Oster inks before, so I figured let's give Tatcha its turn, as they say. Here is the journal we'll be using is my Galen Leather notepad, Tomoyo River. So I think we're all set. Let me just see if I could just close up a little bit more. There we go. Okay, I think that should do it. Of course, this pen, we will write with it posted. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, it's still a little slippery, but let's pursue this. Okay, so this is that's me, sorry. Hongdian M2, and it's the green forest or forest green, I should have. The nib is a steel number 5, lemon, I guess, nib. The ink is Tatcha Midori green. Now, I'm not sure if it's the ink, because my recollection, the ink is a good ink and not a dry ink, but this nib is disappointing me so far in the sense that I was really expecting a gusher, and I'm not. It's like I really have to press down to get the wetness. I was just expecting it to really gush right out of the gates, but it's not. Does it have any spring to it? Well, you can get, well, no, it's fairly stiff. I'm not getting really any line variation. And in order for the ink to kind of really get onto the paper, I really need to press down on this nib. But, you know, it's fairly constant. It's fairly smooth. I don't want you to get the wrong impression. But I was just, for some reason, I just thought that this nib would just kind of gush out, you know, the ink, and it's not doing that. In terms of fast writing, there is a little bit of feedback, but as you can see, it's giving me a fairly thin line. But, you know, on the other hand, it's a fine nib, so there you have it. Okay, so in terms of likes and dislikes, I mean, the likes, I think, to me, are fairly obvious. The design is a really nice design. The build quality, really, really nice. Just that clip is really, you know, just great. On the dislikes, I still think it has a little bit of a slippery section. This nib is not impressing me in any way, shape, or form. So, and I'm not liking it for some reason. I should have gone, in hindsight, I should have gone with the Hongdian. But I have the Hongdian on the M1. So, should I want to swap, I'm sure I can swap that and go back to the Hongdian, you know. The one thing with Hongdian is they don't appear to have medium nibs as often as Jinhao, for example, or even Mahjong for that matter. And they should wake up and smell the coffee. They're doing very well in terms of their pens, their nib selection, in terms of, you know, different varieties. Don't get me wrong, the fine nib they're really nice nibs, they're springy, but they should have the medium available for us, both in 5 and in number 6, and in number 8 for that matter. Okay, so there you have it. In terms of value, I forget what I paid this pen. I will put it up on the screen. Is it going to be a go-to pen? Only if I replace the nib, or play around with it a little more, maybe open up the tines of this nib and get it gushing a little more, because it appears to be a quality nib, but just not giving me the writing experience that I was expecting. So let me just sign my review. So there you have it, folks. I think it's a nice pocket pen. In conclusion, I think it's a nice pocket pen. If you've got to choose between the M1 and the M2, definitely choose the M2. If you're going to choose nibs, please go with the Hongdian. I think you're better off than with this lemon nib. That's my view. I did not want to play with it too much. I want you to see what the nib gives right out of the box. and I think you should probably prefer the fine Hongdian. Again, I stress it's too bad we don't have mediums that we could choose from. And if there's no inscription on this nib, but if that was a medium, then it's really disappointing. I think it's a fine. But if it is a medium, I will put it up on the screen. I don't want to mislead you. I will do research that I should have done perhaps before. But there you have it, folks. Another pocket pen. I think it's one of the themes for 2024. I will keep doing it. There's a lot of pocket pens coming out. And the moment I see one of any interest that I think I can share with my viewers, guarantee we will buy it, review it, and provide you with my comments. So thank you very much. Grazie molto. Arrivederci.